massive improvement in the area of security. You look at the renovation work and reconstruction, that is ongoing in our schools. In the next few weeks, we are going to roll out more. Initially we choose 3 senatorial districts, 2 schools we are choosing initially, but now you are going to have dozens because we now have our budget. When we took off last year, the budget we were operating wasn't our budget. That was why the government did that environment, I call it review, to be able to move some funds to different places that were of utmost and paramount importance. So with the budget, the 2024 budget, and with the humongous allocations given to different strategic MDAs, there's no doubt that Abians are going to see a whole lot of work going to be done by the government.
How effective have that particular designation been since inception? I'm talking about monitoring and evaluation. How effective have they been? Because you look at some of the roads which are ongoing in terms of construction and reconstruction, some persons are complaining that it's not up to standard. How effective have they been in trying to ensure that the contractors are delivering on the agreed level of work across the board?
Okay, they've been very, very effective. Don't forget that this is I don't know if it had existed in Abia before, I doubt. But if it had existed in Abia, then it was actually moribund, if I thought it had existed. So the governor appointing a special advisor on monitoring and evaluation suggests that he, Abinishu, understood how strategic and how important it is to have such body and have such a person who is grounded, very knowledgeable, very exposed, to do that job. So, but then, like I said, last year the budget we operated was not our budget. There was little you could do. There were areas you could not have delved into because they would require resources. They would require manpower. They would require logistics. They would require a lot of things for you to do it and do it very effectively. Now that we have our budget, that office will be provided with all that is required to ensure that the vision for establishing it is actualized. So in the last few weeks, they've been very, very effective. It has literally forced every appointee, every MDA to wake up, knowing that because there is one thing about governance. You might have good intentions. You might have the capacity to deliver. You might have the sincerity, like our governor does, to serve the people to the fullest. But because you are one person, you can't be everywhere. Okay? You can't be everywhere. You cannot ascertain whether this person you've assigned to do the job has done it very well, done it to the expectation of the people. So now what the MIE does is to go to a project site, go to a ministry, go to wherever and find out how they are operating. If there is a project, let's say project A is going on here, the way he operates is to go with a subject matter expert. Assuming this is a road infrastructure, that you're working on this road, he will go, because yes, as much as he is very knowledgeable, but there are areas that are not his, areas of specialty. So what he does is to go with a team of very competent and accomplished and honest persons to help him evaluate, measure, look at what has been done, look at what was signed in the agreement, look at the resources that have been deployed, whether they can measure with the output. So that is what they mean. And I can tell you, like I said, in the last few weeks, they have done a fantastic job, because you don't just wait for the job to be completed.
Their job description, does it include having to hasten them up? Because I'm sure that there is timeline for the completion of these projects, and the fact that rain is setting and we are closing in on frequent rain, which could hamper the success.
That was where I was actually going. Because what we do not wait for you to accomplish or finish the project or the job before the MLE comes to say, okay, you didn't do this well, you did this well, you didn't get. No, what they do, phase by phase, they go on a regular monitoring of project sites to be able to ascertain the kind of job being done, to be able to ascertain if what you have done is in line with the vision of the government. So, and now it's important to say something about the complaint by some persons, and like I've always said here, we are a responsible government. We have never claimed we know it all. We have never claimed we are infallible. We have never claimed we've gotten everything right. But there is need, when certain criticisms come, they should be specific. Okay? The jobs that have been done, the road projects that have been built, have been built to specification. There is no road that has been built, any new road has been built by this government that is not stone based. That is not. Where there is need for drainage, you have drainage, and they come with street lights. So I am not aware of any substandard project. I saw a picture. I don't know what you were referring to. A picture being circulated by a fellow, one of the aides of the former governor. He made reference to what is the Zeeway somewhere after Streams of Joy. Show the road. Say, look at a new idea. In the first place, that road. Of course, we don't discriminate between state and federal roads. Yeah, as long as we have enough resources, the government is determined to do every road because it's our people that are using these roads. So that's a federal road that has been awarded by the federal government. And there is a construction company where land has started from the other Akwa Ibom side. So what we're doing at Dozie Way is palliative work.
Okay.
That they were still doing before the rail, the rainfall came. And it's not as if they had even finished and somebody was snapping picture. So if you have followed the roads we've done, you could see, you will agree with me that there was never, they pointed out to say we did substandard work here. Okay. And we don't do substandard jobs.
Having a chat with the special advisor to the governor on media and publicity, Ferdinand Ekoma, let's switch gears and talk about the mishaps which heralded the week. On Monday, the fire outbreak which happened at Ehere Market, and then subsequently was that of Chisco Transport along Milverton Avenue there in Abia, which is the cash cow of the state in terms of generation of internally revenue, basically. And then the governor is already thinking of relocating the Milverton Avenue, the Motoparks there, to a different location altogether. Does it embolden his resolve now with all of these mishaps happening here and there all over the place? Does it now embolden his resolve to look at the infrastructures across the business avenues there in Abia and to just put them in their right stead to forestall recurrence of some of these incidents?
Yeah, thank you, Wisdom, for that observation. Of course it does. It does embolden the resolve of the governor and the government to relocate the people. These are observations that we had since made. And the process, even had been ongoing, even before the fire incidents. Every responsible government has a process of doing things. You must get things right, because you don't just come and push people away and say, we are relocating you. No, you will need to provide the necessary facilities. You need to provide security. You need to provide access road. For example, if you look at some of the road, the Dabala Road and all those things, those roads that have been fixed. Green Avenue, not Green Avenue, the other one, I think it's Green Avenue. These roads give you the access to the express. That means if you decide not to use the Abia road, okay, it gives you the option. And there is another road, I've forgotten the name of the road. If you enter the hospital, the Absolute Road, there is another adjoining road by this, which the government has also started doing. So the essence of these road projects is to ensure that the government has done its part. Now, before you begin to ask the people to relocate, if you look at the Milverton Avenue, it's an eyesore, and there is no justifiable reason for that luxury park, that place to remain. It's not even a park. These are residential houses that were converted, an emergency park. So if we're not interested, but if previous governments were very smart and intentional about upgrading infrastructure, about doing the needful, about sanitizing the state, there's no way that place will continue to exist. You can't create a modern park, move this way, you will even be able to generate revenues and maintain sanity. Just about 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago, one of the dilapidated buildings, the defense, caved in and killed someone, just the same place. So if you move into this place, you find out everywhere is decayed because the place is overwhelmed. So the government, of course, like I said, was already thinking about that, and now is going to fasten actions to ensure that the luxury park is moved to where it should be, to a decent place, and be able to decongest the road. Because in the past, the previous governments had built that Milverton road, and it will collapse. Because they didn't do the needful. Because you can't allow people to be treading on the road, pouring grease, doing all kinds of things, and people find the place is always chaotic. So we want to bring that sad experience to an end.
Which one would think would help in shoring up Abia and helping the governor deliver on his mandate of improving the internally generated revenue of the state, which is where we're going to talk about next, Ferdinand. Where are we in terms of internally generated revenue? Obviously, the governor pointed out prior to the election that he's looking at making it viable, increment in IGR.
Carried out those activities that will ignite economic prosperity. The people will not even have the resources, let alone the desire to pay. Because if somebody doesn't have money to pay, there's nothing you can do to compel the person to pay.
Are you simply saying that the reason for the gradual slow pace of development in that aspect is because
making progress consistently? Because it is growing on a weekly basis. We are seeing the rise in revenue generation. As time goes on, the statistics will be made public. People will see the progress we are making. When you talk about payee, for example, wisdom, if you make this place secure, comfortable, and investors are coming, okay, and you have people being employed, people will pay taxes. If no job is created and people are not employed, you won't deduct anything from those people who have not been employed, who are unemployed. That's what we are doing. All these people that are carrying out road projects, they have staff they have brought. These people pay taxes. These construction companies pay heavy taxes. Like they pay heavy taxes to the state government. So that is why I said it is not a one-way thing. We are intentional about the mechanism we are putting in place to ensure that we attract investors and investments, and we will recoup. You see, there is a way this thing that there will be, like it's mentioned about quantum leap. It will happen. At the point it will just blow. Because you've done the necessary.
I'm looking forward to that.
And it's going to happen.
So that it's not just words though.
No, we are seeing it that you and I are seeing what is happening. Abia,
let's talk about
Abia is now is on the front burner. People are discussing Abia State.
Okay.
And that is inspiring us to do more, to do it. We've not even come anywhere close to where we should be. So nobody is celebrating and we are there. No, we are not there. But the truth is that we have the commitment, we have the sincerity, we have the passion, we have the motivation to do what is right, to develop our state, because for years there have been a negative reference point. So we want to write that.
Let's talk about those that are employed, because you mentioned that while you were trying to explain the issue of tax, and the issue of wage award has dominated discussions in recent times, and we know that the governor himself equally pointed out that something is in the offing, and the big question is how long will it take for this to be implemented? Because when there is money in the hands of Abians, they are equally going to utilize the same, go to the markets, solve their problems. That as well will affect the IGR, and basically everything in the state will breathe that fresh air.
Here is the remaining part of the tunnel. This is where the tunnel will stop. That's a junction that got it to lead to that place. Then this is the remaining part of the tunnel. That should be dog. Saziede Pratosk. Wow, it rained heavily last night though. Good morning. It rained heavily last night. Excavating water. I don't know if you should be back in my here. Yes, it's raining heavily. Yeah. Men at work. Oh. Men at work.
I was going to say, I'm going to